Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming us to episode 15 of Research Aromatica. The title of today's talk is Traditional Chinese Medicine and Modern Essential Oils. We are privileged to be joined today by Derrick Huang. He holds a master's in materials science from Shanghai JiaoTong University. He is and has been an R&D manager of two leading companies that are in the category of fast-moving consumer goods. He's also done direct and worked in the direct sales industry. In fact, Derrick has over 10 years of experience in R&D and manufacturing. He's proficient in essential oil blends, personal care, and foods that contain essential oils. He has launched 30 plus top sales products onto the market. He has one science citation index, one engineering index, and one patent published. He's also the recipient of the Shanghai FengXian Youth Talent Award. I'm fortunate to have worked with Derrick in China and to also call him my friend. Derrick, I hope we're having a technical glitch. We do broadcast these live from all over the world. So right now, Derrick is home in China, and I believe if we can hang in there a moment, that we're just having a little bit of a technical glitch. So if you want to grab a coffee or a little bit of water, this would be a good time to do that while we're making sure that we could get Derrick in. Please feel free. We have quite a few people in the waiting room. Please feel free to chat while we manage this technical glitch. Hi, Derrick.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I just finished reading your bio. You're right on time. It's wonderful to have you here today, and let's go ahead and get the slides started.
Okay. Okay. I'm so happy here to share traditional Chinese medicine. We also call it material medical and modern essential oil. It is my honor to share the first picture with you together, because this is a happy memory between APRC, Antoinette, Dr. DiCaro, with me. We have been to a very remote area inside of China to find a potential traditional Chinese aromatic plants, but has very high potential benefits. So this is a good memory, and this is also, I hope it could be an opening page for all of us entering this new world, traditional Chinese medicine and essential oil. So I will go to the next page about the outlines. I will introduce some of my findings in three topics. The first is, what is aromatic Chinese material medical? And the second is aromatic Chinese material medical and essential oil. What's the same? What's the difference between each other? The third is classical aromatic Chinese material medical. I will take some traditional Chinese medicine as example to share more details, more culture and story behind. So let's go to the first. Okay, so you may hear about traditional Chinese medicine, and you can find definition on the page. Traditional Chinese medicine is a branch of traditional medicine in China. Medicine in traditional China encompassed a range of something competing health and healing practice, folk beliefs, literary theory, and philosophy. So somehow it's like competing each other, like yin yang. Maybe you have heard about it. But as you can imagine, our world somehow is competing. Like we have day and night, we have female and male. So there's always a yin yang two face. And also, talking about traditional Chinese medicine, one very famous scientist, Dr. Li Shizhen, has to be mentioned. He has spent all his life studying, exploring traditional Chinese medicine, and he has written a very famous book called The Compendium of Materia Medica. And this is very, very famous. We call it in Chinese 本草纲目. And actually, all the Chinese doctor, they honor Li Shizhen as their starter, as their founder. So this man, Li Shizhen, and his book, The Compendium of Materia Medica, is really, really famous and important. And let's go to the next page. We're talking about some school of thought, like yin yang. We were just talking about that some way, somehow, the world has two faces, day and night, female and male. And also, in the Chinese medicine, we use another theory. This theory is called five elements theory. So the five elements theory is represent fire, water, wood, and the ground. So they actually represent a certain system inside of the body. And according to the Chinese medicine, the whole body is running in a system. And just like you play the piano, and when you listen a sound, it actually is several coins to play together, since it's the result. It's the same logic of the five elements theory of traditional Chinese medicine. If, for example, if you get a stomach, an ache, maybe it's not just because one element, maybe because of the two or three elements together to have this result. So this is very, how to say, somehow it's hard to understand, but it's also interesting because this is a practice. Somehow traditional Chinese medicine, it is a practice. It is from long history of the China. It's the wisdom of the from the very early stage of China medicine doctors and to the nowadays. So we can call it kind of practical science, but it works. Okay, then come to the definition. Actually, traditional Chinese medicine is a very big category, and it is very complicated. I'm not so knowledge on the whole thing, but I'm familiar with the aromatic, which is the violet oils components of Chinese Materia Medica. So I will introduce most of this part to share what I have learned, what I found with all of you. The first thing is to learn what is aromatic Chinese Materia Medica. So we can see there are three kind of classification for three categories, essential oil, food, and traditional medicine. Between essential oil and food, according to the regulation, we can call it essential oil as food additives. So like orange juice we drink, it has origin essential oil from citrus. That is essential oil as food additives. And the other is food between between the food and the traditional Chinese medicine. We call it this medicine, but also food. It has the same origin. And the third is what we will clarify today is aromatic Chinese materia medica is between essential oil and traditional Chinese medicine. And according to the dictionary of traditional Chinese medicine, there are many kinds of traditional Chinese medicine. Their plants contains violet oils, which is what we were talking about. So that's one simple word to define the use of violet oil components in traditional Chinese medicine to alert biological activities. We can call it aromatic Chinese materia medica. That's the definition. Okay, then let's go forward to the classification. We talked about the classification in scientific words, but we also want to tell the classification in traditional Chinese word. So in Chinese traditional word, there are 5 functional benefits. First is 芳香避秽 in Chinese. In English, it's kind of avoid pollution or cleansing benefits. So like camphor, bonium, clove, they are all belong to this. And the other is 芳香化湿 in Chinese. In English, it's like resolving dampness, like Angelica, ginseng, peppermint. These are this category. And it help people like in Chinese medicine, people if have too much moisture inside of the body, it will cause disease. We call it in Chinese 湿热. So this medicine will help to get this extra moisture out of the body to help you become healthy. So that's 芳香化湿. And the third is 芳香开窍, inducing recitation, like cardamom. They are belong to this category. Then this is like what we may have some kind of confusion or stock in of our mind. And if you smell this kind of medicine, aromatic plants, you will feel very smooth. You will feel very clear of your respiratory system, also your mental. So this is what we call 芳香开窍. And the fourth is 芳香温通. Is warming yang for the flow of liver qi. Because we have liver here in Chinese, if your liver doesn't get very well, you may feel not so good. But like sandalwood, cinnamon, argyi, cloves, they can help to warm this area. So this we call 芳香温通. The fifth is 芳香解表, induce sweet. And in the summertime, we may feel a little down because the weather is too hot and we have too much sweats on our skin surface. So that time we need 芳香解表. So like Liquidambar, bonial, camphor, this kind of aromatic plants can help 芳香解表. So there are 2 classification. One is the scientific way, the other is traditional Chinese way. Okay, then let's go to the next page. The next page is about the nature distribution of our aromatic plants in China. So we have found 349 species in 63 families distributed in 30 provinces inside of China. And there's the oldest saying, 一方水土养一方人. In English is if you live here, your habit or your culture will be like the place you live. So the botanic, the plants are the same. So we find very interesting is that like rose, we all like rose. Rose is beautiful and the smell is good. And they are almost in the same latitude. There are four species, very famous species, rose in China, like Bitterwater, Rosa robusta, and also we have Damasca, Rosa damasca. But you can find it is in the same latitude. So it's also complying with the nature distribution of plants. So nature is amazing. You can find a lot of nature rules, and as human beings, we have to follow, we have to respect in nature. And then it's what we have learned for these Chinese aromatic plants. We learned there are four parameters are very, very important. First is resource. As I just mentioned in the beginning, actually, there's like a comprehensive usage of Chinese aromatic medicine. And what we find very interesting and also beneficial is that some traditional Chinese plants, they are underground parts. They can be used into medicine, but they are aerial parts, and the parts on the surface, they can be used to attract essential oil. Both are very beneficial. So this is how to say kind of sustainability method. And the other is the species. So we call rose, but rose has many species. Some can extract essential oil, some cannot. And their components are also different. And even for some aromatic plants, the chemotype means the chemistry inside of the essential oil are totally different. It does happen. For example, Agarwood. So the species is very important. It helps us to learn the true benefits and also the culture, the history behind of this species. Third is extraction parts. As we just talked about, aerial part, the underground part, maybe both can extract essential oil. We have to define which one is the better. And the fourth is the features and benefits. It's quite similar with the modern science. We use the same way to understand what features and benefits of traditional Chinese materia medica. Okay, then we come to the second big topic. What is the same? What is difference between each other? Okay, first we're talking about the same. Aromatic traditional Chinese medicine has the same volatile oil components as essential oil. As you can find in this picture, like citronal and like burnol, and this kind of chemicals, these kind of nature chemicals are the same, even in the traditional Chinese medicine, also in the essential oil. And they can have therapeutic benefits according to the modern science research. They can be also different, like ginseng. Ginseng, very, very famous and global-wise, and also has nature distribution, not only in China, but ginseng. If we look at it in traditional Chinese medicine, what is work is ginseng side. It's We call it in Chinese 人参皂苷. It has the anti-tumor benefit. But if we use it to extract essential oil, the main extract method is a supercarbonic oxide, not what steam distillation or cold press. In the essential oil part is pentanol. So this is a neural protection to help you mind the system. So these two components are very different. And how we define or how we find the best use method of this aromatic aromatica. So it depends on the bioavailability. Somehow we know that if we inhalate violet oil components, time of metabolism may be very long. But if we have internal use or oral use, the time of metabolism is very fast. But for the safety concern, we have to say inhalation and the demo use are still highly suggested. Because although the modern science is very, very modern now, but we cannot know everything about traditional Chinese medicine. To be very safe, we have to use in a safe way. So sniff or topical use are suggested. Even these two kind of use method, we can still find it helps to add on the vacancy of modern medicine, like degenerative diseases, cancer rehabilitation, prosperative recovery, affective disorder. This kind of unhealthy phenomenon of diseases, modern medicine helps, but aromatherapy also helps and helps effectively. Okay, so come back to the chemistry background. So the functional group of each oil component can have target or specific benefits. Like alcohol, they can claim teachers, immune support, allergen, reduce microorganism, ketone promotes healthy skin, oxide, respiratory support like encapsulates, and ester, claiming soothing, relaxation like helichrysum, and also phenol like prove to help protect the cell. So this is, if we come back to chemistry side, it is all comes from these functional components inside of it. Okay, then as a scientist, as a researcher, how we to learn the features and the benefits is also in the modern science way. We're talking about the pure validation, purity validation. It's more chemistry way. So we after literature review, we will use analytics and chemistry to understand what is inside of it and how much it has. And then we may use a very high end, we call it a computational chemistry. We will modeling the molecule and to forecast the biochemistry procedure inside of the body. And comes to the therapeutic validation, we will use biology, biochemistry, like in vitro characterization, and even clinical trials. Actually, I searched online. There are already been 169 clinical trials on aromatic plants. And one of and few of them was studied on the Chinese material medica. So this is the like human test. Okay, then comes to the last part is we will share some examples as aromatic Chinese material medica. The first is frankincense. APRC has spent many years on frankincense, and frankincense actually is also one of the very famous traditional Chinese medicine, and we can find a record in the compendium of materia medica. We talked about it in the early 本草纲目 by Li Shizhen, and also another very good book, Materia Medica, also mentioned. And we learned that in the modern science, it has anti-cancer, anti-inflammation benefits. That's the first thing we will talk about. And we are talking about the Liquidambar, the sweet gum. We visit there together with APRC, and it is a fantastic story we will share. And then is Angelica. Angelica is, in Chinese, its word is very interesting. It's like, you should come back. This name is from Li Shizhen, because some women when have months coming, and during the month coming time, they may feel not so comfortable. But when their husband or their partner come back, they will feel much better. So the medicine, the traditional Chinese medicine, is called "You Should Come Back." Chinese is "Gangui." It's same benefits for female, for ladies. And then it's a very helpful. Is we call this argyi and Schisandra and Agarwood. Agarwood is very expensive. So we will go each in more details, one by one. Okay, first is frankincense. According to the study of Dr. Ticaro, APRC, we have found at least 26 species of frankincense inside of Africa. And one of the very famous is Boswellian Cantarian. And you can see the map. Its map is the Silk Road. In China history, the Silk Road, 丝绸之路, is very important, because this is the bridge link China east. China is located in east and the Western world, Europe, and including the Africa. So you can find the blue routes on sea. It's a boat on sea. You can find it comes from actually it's called Quanzhou, the south part of China, all around the way to the North Africa and East Africa. And the Silk Road has another name. It's the Fragrance Road. Not only like tea, like fabrics, but also fragrance is on the road, and frankincense was actually there, was on the road. So according to the history record in the Song Dynasty, the fragrance already comes up to 80 species, and the frankincense is one major of them. Okay, and then you can find frankincense is in the recipe, is in the formulation of traditional Chinese medicine all around the way. Even in the nowadays, you can still find some Chinese medicine hospital. They will provide frankincense and also myrrh as medicine to patients. And in the right side, this one is in the Tibet. Tibet is one branch of traditional Chinese medicine, and it's very amazing. I've come there once. It's a place of belief. You can see the people there. They have true belief inside of their heart, and their medicine is amazing. It's unbelievable. It's how to say, it's kind of beyond the modern science. Like this one, we call it the Shui Frankincense one, and this one is amazing. It can help on some certain diseases. And then let's come to Liquidambar. So this is a real picture. Angelica and I take this picture together at this place, at this one of the mountain. And before we come to this place, you can see the nature environment was hurt. You know, the local farm, because this is a not very good wood for the furniture, so they cut it off to plant other plants. But it's hurts on the nature, on the environment, wood. And then we find it. It is a beautiful tree. It is not worthless. In the history, it is planted in the garden, and it has four different colors among the whole year, and it changes by each season. So it's a beautiful tree. And also, there's one nationality. It's Guizhou Buyi Zhu in the very remote mountain. And you can see the lady. Their story are really touch our child because we have seen a lady who is old but still step by step go up to the mountain and to collect the Liquidambar resin. And when they collect the Liquidambar resin, they use it for their nationality clothes. This is artwork. This is definitely art. Only have two colors, white and blue. Blue comes from the Liquidambar resin, and this only two color makes their clothes very, very beautiful. And this is actually one of the national intangible culture heritage list. And our mission to the local people is to help on the life, help on the sustainability of where they live. So we work with Professor Zheng, who is who is a gentleman, and he invented a V-shape collecting method. We use this method to collect this resin and no harm to the tree. We collect this year, and the next year we will let it heal by the tree itself. And after next year, the year after, we can collect the resin again. So it is totally sustainable. And also, because of this collection, local people can have more learnings. They are very, very poor. They maybe just a few hundreds RMB one month, very, very low salary, but extra money will help them to be better. So this project really, really very impressive to all of us, and we are really happy to have Professor Zheng, to have Dr. De Caro, as you can see from the picture, to there and help the local people. So yeah, we can do something to make the world better. This is really I find. Okay, then it's the summary. Liquidambar, we also call it sweet gum. It is native to southern of China. In history, it has many medical uses, and the trunk of this tree can be used for aromatic resin. It is one of the traditional medicine. And looking at the components, the chemical analysis, the components are amazing. Alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, beta-carotene, they are all very good, beneficial compounds. So it's also my fortune to be part of this project. Okay, then comes to Angelica. Angelica sinensis. Angelica sinensis has a long history and can be first recorded in Shenlong Herbal Classical. And I want to also share one story about the writer. So the writer, he is devotes himself for the health of Chinese people. He comes into the mountain and take each plant by himself, and to have taste and also to explore benefits. And it's not always safe, no matter about the animals, the weather, but also the toxin of aromatic plants. Because we say that it's too complicated. You cannot say every components are safe, are benefits. No, that's not. Some chemicals inside of it are toxic. So several times, he just fade on the ground after taking these aromatic plants. But when he wakes up, he persists in taking these plants to find what benefits. Angelica is one of them. So Angelica has some benefits summarized like invigorating blood circulation, regulation menstruation, eliminating swelling, pulsations, and it's also was in several very famous traditional Chinese recipes. One is in Chinese 当归芍药散. It's used Angelica as the main essence, and the other, and this is has thousands year history and very very famous even in nowadays. And the other is a Shanghai Yuan, because Asia people, especially China, they will fear about cold or too much moisture. As we mentioned, it's like 芳香化湿. 湿 is too much moisture inside of your body. So there's one recipe called Angelica for revert back soup, actually soup, to help people to get rid of this moisture and to get better. So they are, somehow mystery. And summary, Angelica, commonly called Angelica sinensis, commonly called Angelica, widely planted in China. And they have benefits like invigorating blood circulation, regulation menstruation, relief plan, blah blah, anti-cancer, help on the immunity. So the main compound is the Caesar's liquid slide. This is also the same in the medicine. I mean, the modern medicine, same components. Okay, then we come to Aita. So Argyi has a long history of using medicine. The first is can be found in the prescription for 52 diseases. And as one of the materia medica, it has the effects to restoring yang. Remember the two schools of thoughts. One is yin yang, so it's a kind of balance. Too much yin, not good. Too much yang, not good. If you too much yin and too much yin, yang is weaker, and you should try 艾草, and it will help to bring up your yang and to balance again. And it is also commonly used in acupuncture. Acupuncture also has a long history, and we call it 艾灸. It is actually used like in the picture. It's part of the materia medica, and to heat it, and then on the skin surface. It is a treatment. It is a traditional treatment. So in summary, it is widely distributed in China. It can work, just mention the yang, to increase yang. And also it can extract the aromatic oil. The main compound is mineral and also camphor. Okay, then we come to the Schisandra. Schisandra, we call it weights in Chinese. It means it has 5 flavors. Actually, I have eaten once the Schisandra. It do have 5 flavors. And the first you will feel a little sweet and acid and bitter and soy. So it's a complicated feeling, very interesting. And when we look at the chemical compounds, they are also has lots of different compounds inside of it, like elanin, nocantum, cancominium, these compounds. And they are not very often in other essential oils. So Schisandra is interesting from chemistry-wise. And then is Agarwood sinensis. It is called Angelica. No, not Angelica. It's Agarwood. Agarwood. So when we take this picture, let me introduce one place you must know is Hong Kong. Hong Kong, do you know why the name is Hong Kong? So it's also about the Agarwood. Because at a very early stage of Hong Kong, it is a harbor. It is a harbor. So many ships come out from Hong Kong to all over the world. And remember the Silk Road, and also the Fragrance Road. Hong Kong is the main harbor to distribute a lot of fragrance, nature distributed in China fragrance all around the world. And it's called Hong Kong in Chinese is a good smell harbor in Chinese translation, because the Agarwood feels very smell, and it lasts a long time. To make the whole harbor, even the labors in the harbors, they smell very good. So they name it like smell good harbor. In Chinese is Hong Kong. And in the nowadays, Agarwood comes out of China, and it is originally in Guangdong province, the south part, and then comes to the Southeast Asia, SEA, and you can find in Bangkok, in Thailand, in Malaysia, and Indonesia, and they are a good business for the local people, because I can say that the Agarwood essential oil or their extracts are the most expensive in the world among the essential oil industry. You cannot imagine that their price, their quotation is based on 1 gram. That means only 1 gram, it may cost 100 to 300 RMB. So it's really, really expensive. This is the most expensive aromatic compound, aromatic plants FMC. And talking about the extraction, there's, according to the old sayings, Agarwood tree need 7 years can have this oil components. And why they comes out this resin and the aromatic compounds? They are also the same way as Liquidambar or like Frankincense. It may be by herbs, but the most expensive Agarwood is because the 闪电, the lightning, the nature filament, and then it will have the resin. So that's the expensive in the expensive. So they are also have a lot of story to talk, and you can see 2 products just as example to learn how precious and rare Agarwood are. And you can see from the label, the product label. So it is the wood of the gods. Agarwood alone makes perfect man's collagen. So it is a really, really precious species. Okay, so summarize. Agarwood is in the Simulaceae family, distributed mainly in southeast coast of China. It can relieve pain, relieve vomiting, relieve asthma. It has a specific, very unique wooden aroma. And in terms of the compounds inside, you can see they are also very rare in other essential oil, in other aromatic plants, like Agarwood. In Chinese, it's called 沉香螺旋醇. It is actually half Agarwood, these 2 words inside of this chemical name. So you can imagine how typical Agarwood is. Okay, then come to the last page. I'm so happy and so honored to share, to be invited by APRC, by Dr. Jicaro and Rose. And I'm also looking forward to learn more and more research on Chinese material medica. As a Chinese, I'm very proud of our country, of our culture, of our medicine. And as a scientist, I also have to be very claim. Very scientific, based on science, based on data. But we can combine these 2 together. So you can see when a journal as modern science medicine, it's actually initiated. This journal is initiated by 2 scientists, one from China, one from European. So they together to study Chinese medicine in a modern science way. So also you can see the right journal. It's a journal of traditional Chinese medicine. I have come to them previously, and they are also very good. They want to share what we have to learn for the thousands of years, share with around the world. Because according to their word, sharing makes knowledge more benefit, more knowledge. So they want to share what our our previous people has worked on so many years to share with the world and what they are finding, what is the interest. So I'm very happy to be part of it, and actually I also am very passionate to be a research to make more efforts on traditional Chinese medicine with a scientific way. So this is all I would like to share today. And please feel free to contact me, to contact Dr. Ticaro, and to learn more about it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was great. Thank you so much, Derrick. I really learned a lot listening to your presentation today. We do have some questions.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna read you some questions. I'm gonna start with Hussein Fakhri's question, which goes along with these journals. He's asking, is there an official institute which would serve the purpose of interfacing between traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine in China? Does an institute like that exist, Derrick?
Yes.
Yeah, and what is it?
Actually, there are several very famous universities who are working on this. Like in Shanghai, Shanghai Chinese Medical University and China Medical Chinese Medical University. They are very proficient on this, and they are studying traditional Chinese medicine in a modern science way.
Yeah, and along those lines, are they at the universities translating traditional Chinese medicine concepts into Western medical applications? Is that kind of research and understanding ongoing?
Yes, yes. And you can see the Journal of Traditional Chinese Medicine. It has English version, so it's all in English. So all around the world can read it. So they are devoting themselves to share traditional Chinese medicine knowledge with all around the world.
Fantastic. And just for a point of clarification, Daniel was asking, in China, do your essential oils correspond to the ISO norms on vocabulary? So are we using the same vocabulary when we talk about essential oils in the context in China as the International Standard Organization does?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It is the same.
Yeah.
It is the same.
I thought so. Another question is, are essential oils popular in China?
Oh, I have to say thanks to like including Dr. Ticaro, the essential oil, the aromatherapy becomes more and more popular in China. And just take one example, the members of one essential oil company grows 8 times. So you can see that's really on trend because people have more awareness on the nature, on the aromatic plants. So more and more people have interest on this, and I think this is will last for the long time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, at least for me here in the United States, it is quite popular. I grew up with acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine being something we could access very easily coming from New York City, and I'm grateful to have had that opportunity. Hussein also had one other question about where TCM sources its borneol. I think you listed borneol as a chemical compound. Do you know which plant or what source the borneol is coming from?
Yes. One is from we call it borneol, and it's come from a tree. There's a tree. I have to find it in English, but in Chinese it's rongnao. It's also one of the traditional Chinese medicine, and it has a very high level of borneol.
Okay, you can certainly, when you get that name in English or the Latin name, you could send that to me, and we'll get that over to Hussein. Hussein will get the answer to your question. He also said that he saw chrysanthemum mentioned, and do you know which chemotype is most sought after for traditional Chinese medicine, since there are so many? Is that
Uh,
something that?
yeah, yes, but just give me a second.
Sure.
I need to check.
Yeah, and it was early on in the comments, if that's something that you want to look at. Well, on both of those too, we can certainly follow up with Hussein for those answers. So no
Okay, I
worries.
find it.
Yeah, we can certainly follow up to give some of those
Yeah,
specific answers.
I find it. It's a
Oh,
limonol.
wonderful.
Yeah, the main compound in chrysanthemum is linalool oxide acid, proranol, and linalool.
Okay, there you go. There you have it, Hussein. Wonderful. Um, I think Jason is saying the teak tree. TEAK, in terms of, I think he's responding to the Borneol. Is that possibly the name in English? Teak tree. So we'll certainly check on that and make that information available to make sure that we have the translation into English
Yeah, yeah, I
proper.
may. Yeah, I will share in the comment.
Okay, great. So I think we did most of the questions. We're just at a minute away from time, so I wanted to take these last few moments to thank you so much for being here today. I'm so grateful the connection held up between the United States and China to have this webinar today. And as you can see there in the comments for Jason and Hussein, he went ahead and put that in there. Thanks for doing that, Derrick. You're an amazing resource. It's really a pleasure to be able to work with you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Yes,
invitation. I'm
yes.
enjoy the time with you and with everyone together.
Thank you. And thank you to the
Thank you.
audience. Look forward to seeing you at the next Research Aromatica.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.